All right, you guys. We are live. Let me see. Okay, live messages on his phone. Alrighty, so we are here live at our new time and new location. I'm really trying to figure out how to best do this. But I'm excited, and today we are going to be reading Proverbs Chapter 3. And so without further ado, I'm going to do this. Ha ha ha, I made a joke. And then of course, as always, I have notes that I have taken that I will be going over at the end. Welcome to the live. Feel free to say hello as I get things going. Okay, so Proverbs chapter. Why do I be so discombobulated? Okay, Proverbs chapter 3, starting at verse 1. My child, never forget the things I have taught you. Store my commands in your heart. If you do this, you will live many years and your life will be satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation. Hi, Shantae. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the best part of everything you produce. Then he will fill your barns with grain and your vats will overflow with good wine. My child, don't reject the Lord's discipline and don't be upset when he corrects you, for the Lord corrects those he loves. Just as a father corrects a child in whom he delights. Joyful is the person who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding. For wisdom is more profitable than silver, and her wages are better than gold. Wisdom is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. She offers you long life in her right hand and riches and honor in her left. She will guide you down delightful paths. All her ways are satisfying. Wisdom is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Happy are those who hold her tightly. By wisdom the Lord founded the earth. By understanding he created the heavens. By his knowledge the deep fountains of the earth burst forth, and the dew settles beneath the night sky. My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them, for they will refresh your soul. They are like jewels on a necklace. They keep you safe on your way, and your feet will not stumble. You can go to bed without fear. You will lie down and sleep soundly. You need not be afraid of sudden disaster or the destruction that comes upon the wicked. For the Lord is your security. He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. Hey, Mama C. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it's in your power to help them. If you can help your neighbor now, don't say come back tomorrow and then I'll help you. Don't plot harm against your neighbor, for those who live nearby trust you. Don't pick a fight without reason when no one has done any harm to you. Don't envy violent people or copy their ways. Such wicked people are detestable to the Lord, but he offers his friendship to the godly. The Lord curses the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the upright. The Lord mocks the mockers, but is gracious to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. So I'm going to share some of the notes now that we've read our chapter for today. And so the first one is definitely coming from a verse we're so familiar with, verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. And then in verse 6, it says, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you what path to take. So many times in life, we don't know which way to go, but it's because we haven't stopped to seek the wisdom of God before we make a decision. We like to make decisions, be in the middle of a decision, and then say, God, what do I do now? We already know in chapter 2, God was like, listen, don't get into a bunch of mess and then come thinking that you're just going to suddenly not have to worry about the message you're in, when truly you should have sought him first. So really in chapter 3, we're seeing a reminder to seek God first. And so I wrote down, I have to trust God, which is seeking his wisdom and following it. So trusting God is not just saying, God, I trust you in this situation. Trusting God is preemptively seeking God's wisdom concerning what we should do concerning something, and then doing that thing that he reveals to us. That is what it means to truly trust God, to seek his wisdom and then do what he said. And then verse 7 says, don't be impressed with your wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Y'all, I was like, whoa. So leaning and trusting my own wisdom is actually evil in the sight of God. Because you have to read it in the context of how the whole verse was written. And so the subject is trusting God. And then he's like, when you're not fearing the Lord, you're doing evil things. Trusting on your own self and your own reliance is evil. I didn't say it, the Bible did. And then verses 9 and 10, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the best part of everything you produce. Then he will fill your barns with grain and your vats will overflow with good wine. And so I wrote, when I honor God with my first, he makes sure I overflow with every good thing. And so your first could be your finances, your first could be your actions, your first is so many things. And so don't just limit it to honoring God with the first of your money or your increase. Honor God in all ways first. Give him the first of your day. Give him the first moments of different things that you do. Seek a way to make sure you're always honoring God first. And so I also wrote, trust the Lord with all my heart because it is where I store the wisdom he gives me. When I trust my understanding and make decisions based on what I think or I feel is right, I'm not trusting God. I should not do anything without consulting God and being led by him. He should be the one that we are consulting. Exactly. He will not compete with us. That's right, Shantae. God is not going to compete with you. If you want to do your own wild thing, he's going to let you. He's going to say you have your free will and you can go and do whatever it is you're trying to do. But then again, when you end up in a mess, you're going to have to sometimes journey through that as God gives you wisdom to get out of it. It's not going to always be instantaneous. And then in verse 19, it says, by wisdom the Lord founded the earth. By understanding he created the heavens. Verse 20, by his knowledge the deep fountains of the earth burst forth, and the dew settles beneath the night. Y'all, it's literally saying that when we ask God for wisdom, he's giving us the wisdom that he used to create the earth. Sometimes we're like, how do I get out of this situation or out of this circumstance? God is literally there to give you the wisdom that he used even just to create the whole earth. That's all the whole wisdom you need right there. And I wrote down, this is the blueprint for how God created everything. His wisdom is the key. When we seek his wisdom, we can do everything and anything. There is no situation, no circumstance in life that has to be so overwhelming that we don't know how to navigate our way through it when we seek the wisdom of God. Mama C said, he's definitely a free will God. You already know, Mama C. And then I also took a note on verse 1 where it says, my child, never forget the things I have taught you. Store my commands in your heart. And so I wrote, if I want to live a satisfied life, I have to store God's commands in my heart. His commands are the wisdom that he gives me. And then verses 3 and 4, Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation. And so I wrote down, I have to be loyal and kind to people if I want to find favor with God and have a good reputation. Obviously, we know as believers, we should be kind to people. We should be generous to people. We should be an example of the love of God to people in the flesh. Like, that is who we are called to be. And so when we do those things, God is saying that is when you will be favored by him. And that is when you will have a good reputation with people. Sometimes people wonder why people say things about them that aren't, the best things to say and things like that. You wonder how some people are so favored by God. It seems like every time they turn around, they getting a blessing. Something is working out for them. These are people that are kind to others. It tells you right here how you can be that type of person. Be kind to others. God wants you to be kind to the people that he created. He wants you to represent Jesus here in the flesh, in the earth. And so there's just so many great things that we can see in Proverbs chapter 3. And lastly, I'll end, I've been talking about some of the benefits that you gain from reading the book of Proverbs. And here we have it. So I'll start going down today's list of benefits that we see in chapter 3. And one is a long and satisfying life, favor with God and people. You will gain a good reputation, direction for your life, physical health. That's in verse 8. More than enough of whatever you need, long life, riches, and honor. That's verse 16, as well as verse 35. You will have delightful paths. That's verse 17. And so I wrote next to that, your life doesn't always have to look like the struggle. When you read the book of Proverbs, you gain the wisdom to be able to navigate around naughty situations. Happiness, refreshing of your soul. That's in verse 22. Safety, so you can make sure and steady steps and not stumble through life. And sound sleep and no fear. Protection from sudden disaster. Safety from traps and friendship. So those are some of the amazing benefits that come from reading Proverbs that are listed in chapter 3. So thank you so much for joining me today. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing I was going to say about kindness. God really showed me this concerning just this year. He was like, the people that succeed this year will be the people that are kind and consider others first. So we live in a society that is it's me season. It's all about me right now. I got to look out for me. God specifically told me, he said, the people that succeed in 2024 will be the people that do not focus on only considering themselves and what they need to do for themselves, but people that consider others and are kind to others and are a representation of sharing love and kindness to others. So, yes. That is that. Thank you for joining me for today's reading. And until next time, peace. Oh, yay. Glad you heard that, Shantae.